Jen Blanchard here from the Blanchard team at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, coming to you from my front porch. It is May 5th. We are still under the executive order to stay at home. Today I'm going to share with you a market update. Real estate in Basking Ridge is starting to come back to life. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I will share some predictions and a little bit of information about the economy as a whole and how it is impacting the market, and vice versa, because the market is definitely going to impact the economy as well. I'm going to show you why. I'm back in my kitchen, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's going on in the market today. All right, today, yesterday, the day before, and we can predict a little bit about what's going on in the future as well. So in our office, we are tracking the activity here in town in Basking Ridge, and we've been looking at it weekly. And as we look at it weekly, we are also looking at a flashback to see where we were this time last year. Now, I'm not going to belabor the point and talk about how much more activity there was this time last year because, hey, pandemic, right? So yes, we are way off where we were last year in terms of new listings, in terms of contract sales, and in terms of closings. And I think that the closings numbers are also going to go down even further because what we're closing right now and what we closed last month were already in play prior to the stay-at-home orders. So what I can tell you, really good news, is that this week's report required 2 pages. 2 pages. And that's because we had way more activity this past week than we did the week before and the week before. So I can tell you that last week we had 9 new listings. We had 9 closings, and we had 7 contract sales. That's 7 properties that went under contract. And if I look at, here's something really interesting, I think, when we compare last year to this year, when we look at not number of sales or number of new listings, that's not really super relevant, but something that is relevant, and I can tell you what my guess is as to why it is that days on market in 2019, in this time frame, year to date, were way higher than they are currently. Our days on market are currently averaging 47. This time last year, we were averaging 69. So if you can draw a conclusion from that, here's the conclusion that I'm drawing. Houses are not staying on the market as long because anybody who's doing real estate right now, and I don't mean agents, anybody who's buying or selling a house is really doing it because they really need to get it done. And it's not like they're just gonna put it on the market and see if they get their price. Because who wants people walking through their houses in this time if they don't have to have somebody walking through their house? And who's gonna buy a house during a pandemic? Somebody who must do it, right? Let's just review those numbers one more time. In this past week, we've had 7 contract sales. Who would have guessed? And listen to this, the list prices on those 7 contract sales: $1,145,000, $1,120,000, $610,000, $599,000, $268,000, $255,000, and $245,000. So the condo market is definitely moving a little more quickly. I'm really surprised that we're having luxury activity. That's just really fantastic. That's really good news. So just keep that in mind. And so that's a little bit of information about what's going on in the real estate market here in Basking Ridge. How are things looking on a larger scale? I said in the beginning of the video in my intro that the housing market impacts the economy, and the economy is impacted by the housing market as well. I don't know if you're wondering about that, but I have an interesting slide here to show you that talks about the average economic impact that one home sale has in the United States. The average economic impact of one home sale in the United States is $88,416. This is a study done by, or some analysis done by the National Association of Realtors, and it took into consideration income generated by the real estate industry, expenditures that people have that are related to their home purchase, impact. And then there's all kind of good information to have and to know about. If you're still concerned that we're going to have the same type of outcome that we had in the Great Recession of 2008, I just want to remind you again, that is not going to happen. And that is because There's stricter rules in place for lending, so fewer people are going to get in over their heads in terms of how much they're going to spend on a house. Just look at homeownership. Homeownership in the United States is up. It's way up by like 8% over the last year, I think is what the number is. But almost 60%, I tell you the number, it's 58.7% of all homes in America have at least 60% equity. 42% of all homes are owned outright without even a mortgage. Of the homes that do have a mortgage, 59% of them have 60% of equity. So that's kind of good. That means even if home prices fall, people will still have equity in their homes. So that's really good. You may have seen the unemployment numbers that were reported at the end of last week. Pretty high. Don't be scared. We have a pandemic going on. Doors are closed. Businesses are closed. People are not going to work. People are not commuting. People are not going to the movies. So we know that. We expected those numbers to be quite high. But what I can tell you is that the experts, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, they're predicting recovery in terms of unemployment in 2 years. Okay, that sounds like a long time. But know this. Employment rates didn't even out during the Great Recession. It took 9 years. And in the Great Depression, it took 12 years. That's not going to happen this time for lots of different reasons. One of which being home equity, like I told you about. The other one being that this was a calculated shutdown. This wasn't an, oh my gosh, everybody lost jobs. This was a calculated shutdown. We knew it was coming. So that's it. I guess I just want to repeat, don't let the headlines rattle you, right? Calm is contagious. If you have questions, if you want to dispute something that I just said, if you're worried about something, give me a call. We can talk it through. Calm is contagious, and I'm trying to approach this in a very calm manner. There's hope. It's going to be okay. And hopefully, I'll see you soon.